I need a vintage dress for an event, and this is the inspiration. This is the fabric. Let's get sewing. I would like the top of the dress to be on the diagonal. I think that will look nice, but it turns out the lines and squares aren't symmetrical towards itself. So the horizontal lines are not the same thickness or the same distance as the vertical lines. So I think I will try to cut the top as planned. And I have pretty much fabric, so worst case scenario, it doesn't work at all, then I can cut it again like the regular way. So let's try that. Okay, maybe it would look a bit stupid with excess just across the breasts. Okay, I think I'll switch them. Let's do it like this instead. Maybe it would have been a nice touch. I've cut all the pieces and marked them. Well, all the pieces for the dress. So tomorrow I will start with sewing all the darts. There are a few. And then handle the boning, because I think I will need some kind of boning to keep the top of the dress, well, standing, or keep the shape of the dress. I made the boning 3 centimeters shorter than the channels, so I have room for seam allowance and some extra room to maneuver with the sewing machine when I'm closing it. zipper, and I have an invisible zipper, but I don't have a presser foot for an invisible zipper, so I'll have to make do with a normal zipper foot, but I think that will be alright. So since this is a very snug skirt, I decided I need a slit, and to begin with I decided the slit would start here, but when I held it up against me I realized I want it even higher, so I get as much movement as possible. I want to mark where the zipper will end. Now I will sew from this point to this point and close it. Then I will attach the zipper, and then I need to do the same in the lining, but not attach the zipper. I will do that in about the last step, I think. I'm not sure yet, but I will do that later. I've sewn this, so it's finished for the zipper. I think I have to do this twice. Once just getting it in place, and the second time I can like do this and hopefully get it even closer. As you can see, there's a few millimeters left. This might actually work. That's much better. That looks really nice. I need to mark on the zipper where the waist seam is. I will do the same as I did with the other side. I will start with just sewing one line to make it all stay in place, and then I will force the edge to the side and sew even closer on round 2. Yeah, I'm happy with that. Perfect. Now I need to attach the lining to the dress, and I think I'm gonna start with the top, sew that, then sew the slit, and lastly sew the hem. I closed the seam in the back for the lining, and then I quickly pressed it. I also pressed the shell a little bit. Okay, this is up, this is up. Wait a minute. Yeah, that's correct. Right sides together. I don't want lining to peek out, so I'm going to try to understitch this, which means I will stitch closely to the edge on the lining side and keeping the seam allowance to that side where I'm stitching. I want to close the slit, so I guess I just like that and pull it through. One side at a time. There's a 2 centimeter difference between the lining and the shell fabric because I forgot to add extra seam allowance for the hem. So I just added 1 centimeter when I cut the lining, and then I remembered, oh, maybe I want a few extra centimeters. So I added 2 extra centimeters for the shell fabric. So I thought that's not a problem because it's the shell fabric that needs to be longer. So I will just encase the lining fabric in the hem. Also this side first and then do the exact same thing for the other side. I'm going to press this and later I'm going to decide if I want to top stitch this as well. I need to close the lining to the zipper and I need to hem it, and then the dress is done. I changed back to the zipper foot so I can get pretty close to the zipper. I don't need to get as close as the shell, but it's nice if it's not like very far off. Oh no, I cut too far. I ruined it. Oh no. Oh no. How did I manage that? Okay, I have to sew a bit further in and hope for the best. Oh, I saved it, but I don't think I dare to do anything more about that now. So it's a bit pointy, but that's alright. I don't want any more mistakes. It's just hemming left, so I'm going to do that now and then start with the overskirt. I'm planning to make it very simple, just a wide band that extends beyond the skirt part and just folding one long piece of fabric to each other, sew the sides and gather the top, and then attach the top to the waistband. And I don't think it needs to be any more complicated than that. So I'm gonna stop with that right now. The skirt is 85 centimeters long, so I will make the overskirt the same as the dress. I just realized I was supposed to include seam allowance, so I thought, okay, 175, that's enough. And now I cut 170. Well. I haven't really decided yet how I want the waistband of the skirt to be. My initial thought was that I wanted like really long so I can tie it in a bow, either in the back or in the side. If I cut in the middle here, I get about 12 centimeters, which I think is good. So then I'll save some fabric and it's easy just to cut. So I will cut this piece off and then cut 4 equal sized strips of fabric. I will overlock these, sew them together 2 and 2, close the sides of the skirt portion, gather up the top portion of the skirt and then attach it to the waistband. Pretty straightforward. I will sew this, turn it, press it, and then sew a gathering stitch. Looking at the picture, it seems like the ruffle of the skirt goes all the way to the front seam, at the front dart. So I'm gonna measure and see how far the distance is between this point around and to this point. I will press one of the edges 1 centimeter, like so, and sew it to the waistband along the upper edge. Then I will understitch that seam, sew the short edges, and then sew the waistband to the skirt portion like I would when sewing a regular skirt.